Devoxx Belgium, and I'm talking to Katy Anton, security expert. So we were just chatting earlier, and you were talking about the importance of integrating security throughout the whole development life cycle. Can you tell me a bit more about that?
Yes, so we cannot bolt in security in the project anymore. We have to integrate security and make it part of the software development cycle. So it's important to consider security from the beginning by thinking of the security requirements to be used. When writing the code, you can do a test for security using unit tests, code review. Even when you commit the code into the repository, this is a place where you can add extra security checks into the pre-commit hooks, and then have checks for security once the code is into the software development main branch, into your repository. Have checks for static code analysis or functional tests. Depending on your software, you can actually integrate those tests and make them part of your continuous integration and then continuous delivery.
So what kind of tests can you write to check that your system is secure? I know that's a very general question, but what's a typical test?
Okay, so first of all, it would be what do we test for? And one of the things that we recommend as part of the OWASP Top 10 Proactive Controls is to use the OWASP ASVS as a guidance for the security requirements. This is a document that helps developers to choose the appropriate level of security, and from there to extract the requirements and use those to generate the test cases. So this would be what should I test for. Then when it comes to the actual how to test them, you can use tools like OWASP. This is a free tool. You can combine this, make it part of your continuous integration, put it in Jenkins, but you can also combine it with other tools developers are familiar, like Selenium. So you can combine them and use a test generated from OWASP ASVS with tools like OWASP to test for your security on a frequent manner.
So it should be part of your general test suite, along with tests that the code is functioning properly.
Yeah.
It should be integrated. It shouldn't be a separate topic, as it were.
Yes, it should be part of the software development cycle. It can't be separated anymore. We can't test for security at the end of a project or project phase because it's too late. And by that time, in most of the cases, developers have moved on. The product is in production, so it's way too late. So we have to start testing for security earlier.
And in your experience, have you ever seen that work? Have you ever seen that properly integrated into the software development lifecycle? Is it a difficult thing to get companies to adopt this approach? Is it difficult to change people's mindsets from security is someone else's problem?
Well, it very much depends on the security maturity of the companies. I work for Veracode. They are a worldwide company. My personal experience is that the customers from America are more mature. They are open to implementing security into the software, not as much on the continent. Yes, so in Veracode we have tools like you can actually test for security while writing the software. So plugins for IDs like IntelliJ, Eclipse, and Visual Studio. And this allows the developers, while they type the code, to actually has a small, to actually do a security analysis for that file. Once the code is committed, then what we usually recommend is to have the developers test their code. We actually provide a playground area for developers, which is called the sandbox. And that's where they actually can test one module or the part that they are actually working on. Once that developer has finished that new feature, functionality, and is part of the main development branch of the main branch, that's when they can pass the entire application through a static analysis. So most of the companies that are with us will come because they want to have compliance for different, from different regulatory requirements. And they want to have a state of the compliance and to measure that one and to measure the progress. So that would be the stage where you would take your entire application and pass it through a full static code analysis. And some companies then go further, and prior to deployment, they actually do a dynamic analysis. These two tests give you a different perspective of the software. The static code looks actually into your code, the way it is written, and can find certain type of flows. The dynamic looks into your running application, and that actually, you can actually find out of how a certain vulnerability can be exploited. So they are complementary, and we usually recommend to have both.
Thank you very much.